Okay, so a common question that we get asked are what KPIs to go over with your sales team during your daily huddles or your monthly sales meetings or just general touch bases with the individuals on your team. So the first thing I like to look at is speed to lead. So if a lead isn't getting answered within 2 minutes, the booking percentage of that lead drastically drops. Your sales team needs to know that every lead that's coming through the website into the CRM is going to be treated like a ringing phone and that they need to jump on that as soon as they hear the notification. Second, I want to talk about the conversion rates that you should be able to expect from your salespeople in different types of surveys. So I'd say an average booking percentage for a company over the phone is going to be around 30%. I like to see 40% over the phone bookings. For an on-site estimate, you should be booking at 60 to 80%. If you're not booking at those percentages, chances are your team needs some additional training. Reference some of the other videos in Tighten Up Training. If they've gone through all the training and they're doing everything they possibly can and are supposed to be doing, it could be an issue with your rates. Now, on the flip side of that, if your booking percentage is too high, that means that your rates are probably too low. If you're booking over the phone at 50, 60%, you can raise your prices. Same goes for the on-site estimates. If you're booking every single on-site estimate you go out to and there's no money at the end of the month, chances are you also need to raise your prices with that. And another thing that is commonly overlooked that it's important to go over with your sales team is the booking percentage by referral source. So if it's a warm referral from a realtor, a past customer, or anybody else in the community, you should be booking those at least 60 or 70%. However, if you purchase a lead, say from Angie or one of the other lead providers that exists, you're going to see a lower booking percentage in most scenarios, sometimes as low as 5%, but I'd say 10 to 12% is usually where purchase lead sources come through. And then your Google, people that find you online, that's going to kind of fall into that average booking percentage. So that's really important to keep in mind with your sales team and to coach them through those things, because you should price yourself accordingly based off of how the referral source is coming in. And your sales team needs to be asking at every turn. On one of the first things they ask when a lead comes in is how they heard about you, or when somebody calls in, how they heard about you. There's other ways to track this too with promotions. If somebody redeems a promotion that's only being used on one marketing source, you know it came from that marketing source. You can get tracking numbers. You can put pixels or cookies on your page to know what part of the website they came in through. So it's really important to track the referral source and for your sales team to have the savvy to quote the job accordingly based off of how likely that referral or that lead is to book, depending on where it comes in from. Next, let's talk about lost lead reasons. Why are we losing jobs? Are we losing to a competitor? Which competitor? If there's the same competitor that we're constantly losing to, we need to research that company and find out what they're saying or doing that we're not. Maybe it's the price, but it's probably something else. It's probably a unique selling point that's combating our unique selling points if we lose to the same competitor over and over again. What we can do to combat that situation is talk about our unique selling points and educate the consumer to follow those selling points, to ask the right questions to the other person, especially when you've researched them and you know they don't offer, say, W-2 uniformed movers. If they're going in and they're just hiring day labor, you can tell your customer to ask if they're talking to other moving companies if their employees are contractors or W-2 employees. That's just one example. There's a bunch of different things that can separate you from the competition. And by knowing the referral or by knowing the lost lead reasons, you can tailor your sales script to be able to combat those reasons. Sometimes the price might be too high. There could be a million other reasons. It's really important to get down to details with why you're losing jobs. And then we want to look at upsells, valuation, storage, packing. If your claims are higher than the amount of valuation that you're selling, that's not good. You're probably not selling enough valuation. Storage revenue should be twice what you're paying out in storage if you don't have your own warehouse. If you're renting out self-storage units to do storage, you need to be marking that up to where your cost of the storage units that you're renting out is at least half of what the revenue you're bringing in for that storage is. Packing, same thing. Look at what you're spending on materials, and your upsells in packing should be at least twice what you're spending on materials. That's going to help you set the pricing, but it's also going to be something that you can go over with your sales team to make sure that they are actively upselling those things. And then finally, in the daily sales huddle, we're looking at talk times and outbound dials. We want to see each salesperson in a normal 8-hour day in the office doing 75 outbound dials or 4 hours of talk time. Now, let's say they have to go out and do an on-site estimate. We figure an on-site estimate will take about 2 hours by the time they leave the office, drive to the appointment, sit down with the customer, present the quote, hopefully book the job, and then get back to their desk to start working on other calls. So for every on-site estimate, we're prorating those 75 dials and 4 hours of total talk times. So if they had 2 estimates that day, we want to see at least 37, 38 outbound dials and at least 2 hours of talk time. If they've got 4 more estimates in a day, they're off the hook on their outbound dials and talk time. Although a good salesperson is going to put in the hours that they need to do to book as much business as they can and follow up with their clients, even if they're out in the field during the day doing those on-site estimates.